So thank you everyone for joining me on this call. I will be going over the entire applicant process for you so that you can be a high qualified and position yourself as a high qualified candidate for our apprenticeship program. My name is Nan Pham, and I'm the Workforce Development Manager at the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation. I'm also the Program Manager for Apprenti, Arizona. So some housekeeping. Please mute yourself. You can ask questions in the chat, but I will be answering them at the end with the 10-minute Q&A. And then also feel free to take any pictures of the slide. I will be sending this slide back to you all, but in case you want more access, go ahead and take a picture. As I mentioned, I'm the Workforce Development Manager at the Foundation. I oversee our cybersecurity and IT collaborative. I was previously with Girls Who Code, launching free computer science clubs across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. I did receive my Master of Education in Higher Ed at Arizona State University, and I did receive my Bachelor's of Arts in Business and Education at the University of California, Berkeley. I did add my LinkedIn. Feel free to add me here. I do post a lot about Apprenti and other opportunities on my page. So how did Apprenti come about? So there is a significant skills gap between accredited education and tech hiring needs. And we know that in the United States, 1 in 20 job openings is a tech job. And in fact, as of 2019, there were over 3 million tech jobs available, but we were only graduating 8,000 computer science graduates. This program does focus on the middle skill jobs that can be filled by accelerated or work-based training. So Apprenti is a national organization founded in 2016 by the Washington Technology Industry Association. It is a registered apprenticeship program for careers in technology funded by the Department of Labor and based in Seattle. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to fill the tech workforce gap, but also to increase diversity in tech. So we do emphasize on recruiting women, minorities, as well as veterans. And the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation is the Arizona affiliate of Apprenti. So how Apprenti works. So on the right side is how an internship is, and on the left side is the apprenticeship model. It is a 12-month structured on-the-job training plus related classroom technical training. It's a protected class with contract duration, registered under the Department of Labor with national portable certificates of occupational competence. Part of the on-the-job training, it is paid. So for the first 6 months, it's 60% of a fully qualified regular employee. And then after 6 months, at the 7th month, you will get a raise at least 70% of the fully qualified regular employee. There are also benefits with the apprenticeship program, including healthcare, dental, possibly dental, as well as a 401k or retirement plan. As I mentioned, there is a technical training portion that's around 2 to 5 months prior to the on-the-job training. So this is just the different pathways to the tech career. The registered apprenticeship program is an accelerated program. You can finish it within 1.5 years typically. There is no cost to be an apprentice. The 2 to 5 month technical training may provide a stipend, but in case it doesn't, then you would have to support yourself, which is why there's low cost in this area. And then there's that 1 year on-the-job training, which is paid with benefits. So here's the pathway of an applicant to an apprentice. First, we ask that you learn about the program by going to our website, and then you can register. There is an online assessment that you have to do, and we'll go into that in just a moment. But of course, there are prep materials that you can study prior to taking the assessment. You have to score 80 or higher to be considered for selection. And when you are considered, then you'll go through a phone interview, a staff interview, and then finally an employer interview. And if they select you as an apprentice, then you start your apprenticeship. And when you start, you're an apprentice in the technical training, the 2 to 5 month technical training, and then the 1 year paid on the job training. So the only requirement to be an apprentice is that you have to be 18 years of age or older. You have to have a high school diploma or equivalent. You must be eligible to work in the United States, and you must be able to complete both the 2 to 5 months of technical training and 1 year on the job training. So it is about a 1.5 year commitment to be an apprentice with Apprenti. Some considerations, salary and benefits part will begin on the job training. So you must be able to support yourself during the 2 to 5 months technical training period. And as I mentioned, some companies may offer a stipend or a wage during this time. And that's what we do encourage our employers. Technical training, which is 2 to 5 months, is full-time and intensive. So we really don't recommend apprentices to work during that period. Expect to be working a full-time job while you're in the training part, 40 hours a week. And then if needed, you must have access to transportation as well as childcare. When you register, you may select up to 3 geographical areas. So as I mentioned, Apprenti is nationwide. You may select multiple job positions, and I'll go into the different job positions in just a moment. And then you also receive prep materials for the online assessment. So the assessment is there to determine aptitude and competency for tech careers. There are 3 sections. The first is math, logical and critical thinking, as well as soft skills. In terms of the math portion, it's not so hard in terms of content. It's really just, we probably haven't seen algebra and geometry since, in high school. So that's what we consider would be difficult, that we have to have a refresher. Logic and critical thinking, similar to math, soft skills is probably the easiest. Most of our applicants do score almost 100 with the soft skills part. Expect the assessment to take 2 to 3 hours. Again, there will be prep materials available for you. And then you must earn a cumulative score of 80 or higher to be considered to be selected for consideration. So more about the assessment. It is not a timed assessment, but you must complete the entire assessment within 10 days once a section begins. So you may also just take one section in one setting and then return later to complete another section. So if you want to do the math and then do the logic and critical thinking and soft skills on a different day, you certainly can, as long as you're taking the entire thing within 10 days. You must complete an entire section in one setting. So if you start math now, you have to finish it in that one setting. You can't save mid-section and return later to complete that. You're eligible to do 3 times, to retest 3 times, and then you get a bonus retake. After the 3 times, though, you do have to wait 90 days or 3 months to take that 4th attempt. So the current occupation and certifications, these are all the different positions we're recruiting for. So we recommend that you learn about the position that you want to learn and train. So for example, if you want to be a software developer or analyst, definitely look into the career, what it entails, have a basic understanding of this career. You don't have to understand all of these certifications, because we'll be teaching you that. But in the interview process, you'll position yourself as a highly qualified candidate if you understand kind of the background of these different careers. So current apprentice demographics. So this is what we see nationwide. The median salary of all prior to Apprenti, all of our apprentices prior to Apprenti is around 28,000. And then when they get on the job, the median salary for the apprenticeship part is around 52,000, and then retained salary is around 86,000. Again, this is a national data, but we do see similarities here in Arizona. About 79% of apprentices are retained by their employer who they'll be apprenticing with. And the idea of the apprenticeship program is really to train and retain you into that employer. 70%, 60% of our applicants, of our apprentices have a college degrees, and we say this because we really value non-traditional applicants and candidates. So we do encourage everyone to apply as long as they have the high school diploma or equivalent, work in the United States, as well as they're 18 years of age or older. The median apprentice age is 33. We placed our youngest, who was 18, and our eldest at 63. So again, all of our apprentices are wide, diverse, and we do welcome everyone to apply as long as they meet those 3 requirements. So for this slide, we do have 1,000 apprentices placed nationwide with over 77 companies. I want to mention the women, people of color, and veterans. Over 80% of our apprentices are in this category. So again, we're really focused and putting importance in recruiting diverse candidates who may traditionally be not part of the tech ecosystem. So who hired registered apprenticeships? As I mentioned, we are a national organization, and the Greater Phoenix Chamber Foundation is the affiliate. And when you register, you can register and choose 3 geographical areas. Of course, we're trying to recruit local, but in case if you are able and willing to move to these different markets for an apprenticeship program, definitely add that to your list so that we can call you when an opportunity comes up. So, and in Arizona, we piloted Apprenti Arizona in Salt River Project. They reskilled and redeployed 9 of their employees from their now closed Navajo generating plant into IT business analyst roles. We are currently working with PayPal to launch our cybersecurity analysts. At the moment, we did close applications for the PayPal apprenticeship. However, we are always recruiting on an ongoing basis applicants and candidates for future apprenticeships. And then the partnership model, Apprenti Arizona is the service provider for the employers and the education training partners, as well as you as the job seeker. So we work and we provide end-to-end program administration. I will be the dedicated program manager to ensure success and to make sure that we're able to retain you at the end of your apprenticeship program. So it all starts with you, and you can take a picture of this if you want, but the first step of being an apprentice is that you have to apply, register, and then take that assessment. I recommend doing the prep materials and then research and explore the tech careers and then connect with the local tech community. So again, you want to position yourself as a highly qualified applicant, and to do that, you really have to do some basic research to explore the different careers in tech. That way you can talk about it in the interview process. So before I do Q&A, which is during this time, I do want to mention that I included in this slide deck additional resources for you to explore a career in tech. So there are online resources, edX.org, Code Academy, Code.org, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, Free Code Camp, really great resources to learn about software development, cybersecurity, all of these careers in tech. Some of them are, you may have to pay, but most you can audit. And there's also free resources in that last slide. So I also added some community resources for you. Again, Apprenti is one solution to your pathway in a career in tech. There are other pathways for you. Advanced business learning cyber training. The Arizona Commons Authority has a whole page on free or low cost online training resources. So I highly recommend that you check that out. Grand Canyon University has Cyber Saturdays, so you'll learn a lot more about cybersecurity and cyber threat. Grow with Google, they do have IT professional certifications. I believe there's one that's 6 months, and it's free through Coursera for displaced workers who've been displaced by the pandemic. Maricopa Corporate College, they do have a computer support tech job training. It's free for low-income workers, unemployed, and those parents who meet eligible requirements. And then the Maricopa County College of Virtual Career Trainings is just a landing page with additional resources for you. And then for connect with your local tech community. So these are the different communities that you can plug into. Arizona Tech Council is probably in Arizona, the biggest tech community. Girls in Tech Phoenix, Women in Technology International, so WITI, there's a Phoenix chapter, Arizona Coalition for Military Families, findsomethingnew.org. Free Code Camp is a really great resource, and I highly recommend that you check that out. And then Phoenix does have the Startup Week community. So I'm going to go back to this slide. And if you have any questions, can you please add that to the chat and I will answer them for you. So the first question is, at this time, is SRP the only location in Arizona? Did you say that it is for the Navajo Nation? So SRP piloted Apprenti in Arizona last year, and they retrained and redeployed their existing employees from their now closed Navajo generating plant into IT business analyst roles here in Phoenix. So that was a unique situation where an employer reskilled and redeveloped their own employee. PayPal, PayPal is a cybersecurity analyst program here in Arizona, based in the greater Phoenix area. So in terms of employers, it's really based on a case-by-case basis where employers are hiring, how many they are looking to hire, and we work with employers to identify all of those needs, to customize the apprenticeship program to fit their needs. So when those apprenticeship opportunities come up, I will send everyone a message so that you can take the assessment, you can apply, or retake the assessment to get a better score. Are the trainings in person or virtual? At the moment, the trainings are virtual. Could someone living in the Arizona be hired from another location and work virtually? That's a good question, and at this moment, I believe that if you were to be hired as an apprentice, let's say in California, you would have to move there, even if it's virtually. I don't know if that has changed, and I will get back with everyone on that. How do you find and identify appropriate hiring companies to partner with? That's a good question. So for us, they are companies in the tech industry. We assess their needs. we assess that are the occupations they're hiring for are the occupations we have available, which is the slide that I showed you not too long ago. So I'll go back to that one. And then they have to be really dedicated to the program. They have to offer one-on-one mentorship during the on-the-job training portion. They have to pay for both the technical training as well as the on-the-job training, since we are providing them apprenticeships for them, which is why there's really no cost. There's no cost for you to be an apprentice. The only maybe cost is if there isn't a stipend or wage during the technical training portion. Will you email us the slideshow with the information links? Yes. So I will email you the slide deck. I have a participant flyer for you as well. And then I'll add another document that has all of the community and partners resources, all of those links in a separate document so that you can easily access that. How many apprentice positions are available with PayPal? So the apprenticeship program with PayPal, there are about, I believe, 3 that we're hiring for. The application for that did close on Friday, and we were only be able to, we reached out to everyone that scored, that had high scores on their assessment. That being said, if you can score higher, let's say higher than 80, so how we select candidates is that we go down the list from the highest score to the lowest score. So if you can get as high as you can, you will be more likely to be selected for consideration. And so we're only able to really interview folks based on the number of positions that's available. So if you can retake the assessment and get a higher score, you're more likely to be considered for an interview. If in Arizona there have been 2 apprentice programs, when do you anticipate future cohorts? Good question. We are actively recruiting more employers. We're in conversation with employers build out an apprenticeship program catered to their needs. It is on an ongoing basis. A apprenticeship program can happen, as early as, next month, or early January. But an apprenticeship program can also come up maybe in 2 years. The process can take some time and really depends on the employer. So why I do these recruiting presentations is that I recommend that you apply and you register and you take the assessment even today, because you never know when an apprenticeship program does begin. And when you are in our system, then we'll automatically reach out to you to ensure that that you're still interested in an apprenticeship program, so that you can retake your assessment to get a higher score. And then find out a little bit about what the apprenticeship program entails for those future cohorts. On another note too, as I mentioned, you can select 3 geographical areas. So if you're able and willing to, there may be apprenticeship programs that are offered, nationwide today. So I really think that it doesn't hurt to apply and register and take an assessment. You just really don't know when a program will start. And to go back to the PayPal, the interview process has started this week. So if you haven't received a call yet, we're still going through kind of down that list. So as I said, recommend try to get a high score as possible to be eligible to interview. What happened is that we do have a bunch of folks who scored 80 and above, and we only could interview a certain amount of people. So those with the highest scores were able to be selected for consideration. So I'll stay on for the next 5 minutes to answer any other questions. And I'll go back to the apply part. Is taking the test more than 3 times looked down upon? No, it does not. It just means that you're committed and you want to be an apprentice. The only thing is if you take it 3 times and you want to retake it for the 4th, you'll have to wait 90 days. How long is the process from start to interview to start of apprenticeship? Good question. So we typically, I believe, that's a good question. We start interviewing from the start date, I believe around maybe 30 days. But one of the reasons why I'm encouraging everyone, if they want to do this, to apply now and register and take the assessment. So you can retake it if you want to get a higher score. And if you want to retake it, that's when it becomes longer.
So you're going right now?
I have the interview at 11.
I don't have any time. I have something to go. I don't know what to do. I can wait. If you want, I can take you right now. You can wait over there. You can go right. Take a bus. I don't know.
Okay, no worry. Let me take the bus so you can go.
Okay.
Okay. Let me take the bus. Don't worry.
So I'm gonna.
You know how you can do that?
Yes, I know.
Go over there.
Okay. There we go. So as I mentioned, it's about 30 days out from when we start the apprenticeship program, that we start the interview process. But if you have to retake it, then it could take longer for you. So that is why I recommend applying, registering, doing the prep materials, and then doing the assessment. So there's 2 more minutes that we have. Any final questions from anyone? If the employers are aiming for diverse candidates, people with disability or being a first-generation immigrant, would they have advantage in selection? So the way that we do diverse candidates, bring in diverse candidates, is we do a blind interview process. So after you do the staff interview, after you do the staff interview, we'll present all of the different candidates that we think are highly qualified to the employer. But it's a blind interview process. So they're only going to see your initials and some comments and some background that we've identified to provide to them. It's only when they select you to interview with them do they get to see your whole entire profile, which is why over 80% of our 1,000 applicants placed nationwide is women, people of color, and veterans. So how many positions are available for our Salt River project? So again, we piloted SRP last year. So that apprenticeship program is running right now. And they're actually on their, I believe, 10 months and ready to graduate in September. If PayPal and SRP started their programs, do they continue to train and hire? Or is this just one-time training hiring opportunity? Yeah, they have an opportunity to continue to train and hire using Apprenti. It is dependent on their long-term hiring needs. So it's really dependent on them. It is 9 a.m. So I want to thank everyone for joining this webinar. I plan on doing 1 or 2 webinars per month. As I mentioned, I recommend that you connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to go through this process with you. And then when I follow up with the slide deck and the materials, email me back. I'm here to support you. I am the program manager, and I really do want to see everyone successful. So with that said, I will be ending this show, and have a great day.